Hey guys, welcome to this very exciting video. For this video, I partnered with Better Dressage Scores to show you how to enter an online horse show. So obviously right now, coronavirus is kind of taking over and everybody's at home right now. And I know a lot of you won't be able to see your horses and a lot of you aren't able to ride your horses. But for someone like me who has their horses at home, this is a really great opportunity to get some feedback on your riding and have a show-like experience without ever having to leave your property. It's also really cheap, so if you're a rider like me who's on a big budget, it's really cool because you can still do it and get some awesome feedback from judges. If you want to get 10% off your entry, all you have to do is enter the code EquineCast at checkout and it'll give you 10% off, which is super cool. So I think what I'll do is I'll do an update video in about a month's time when I get my results and I get my scores. In the meantime though, enjoy the video. Bye guys. Alrighty, so the first thing I did is just went to the Better Dressage Scores website and I chose my test. So to do this, I went to enter a show, and then as you can see, they have every different type of North American dressage test. So you just look at whatever one you want. I decided to do a Canadian dressage test because it's most likely the ones I'd be doing when shows start up again. So then I went and I chose one for each of my horses. Both my horses are quite green in dressage, so both the tests I did were quite simple. But for Maeve, I just chose the first walk trot test, and then for Tulip, I chose the first training level test. But again, I didn't have a super strong preference. And then I just quickly read through the rules just so I knew everything I needed to know. And then I had to make my letters for my dressage arena, so I don't actually have a dressage arena, so I had to kind of build my own, and you'll see that process in this video. And I also had to print off a bunch of letters. So I printed off all the letters I needed, and they have a diagram on the website if you need that. And then I printed them all off, and then I also decided to cut mine out because I was going to have to glue them onto cones, so I cut mine all out into little squares. Yeah. And if you need to draw them, if you don't have a printer, that's totally fine too, as long as they're nice and neat. So then I just taped it onto cones. Another option that I heard is paint cans works really well, or you can just do like an upside down feed bucket if you really don't have anything. Really, there are so many different options as long as they show the letter clearly from the judge's perspective, it's fine. And I had to clear out my arena, so here's just me completely clearing out my arena. As you can see, it's way bigger by the 20 by 40 it has to be for a dressage test. So I had to measure out my arena and make my own little dressage box inside the arena. So I put down C directly in the center, and then I started measuring out the 10 feet to the left of C and then the 10 feet to the right of C. And my biggest tip for you during this is get a longer measuring tape. My measuring tape was very short, and it made this process a bit longer than it would be if you had a longer measuring tape. And then I put out poles for the corners. So unfortunately, I'm painting a lot of my poles right now, so I didn't have many poles at the barn, but I made do. The really cool thing about this online horse show is that nothing has to be perfect. As long as you can see all the letters clearly from the letter C, and you just have a nice clear outline of your dressage arena, you're good to go. So mine's a little bit crazy looking, but it does the job. So next I tacked up. One of the biggest rules that they requested is just that you wear light colored breeches. And then I just wanted to present Tulip and I well, so I put a white saddle pad on her. And then I just made sure none of my tack was like illegal for dressage, which it wasn't, so it wasn't an issue, but that's just something to double check when you're tacking up your horse. Make sure your bit is dressage legal. And when I was doing my tests, I thought of a couple tips. So I'm going to let you watch some clips of me doing my tests on my horses while I tell you what I learned. So my best tip is just to know your tests in advance. I did the very, very stupid thing of learning my test the day of, and it made my horses a bit more tense because I was just learning them and I didn't really know what I was doing, and it just made for bad tests. So I would really make sure you know your tests in advance, you know what you're going to do, so then you can really focus on riding your horse the day of and you're not worried about where you're going. That doesn't just go for online horse shows, that goes for every horse show. But you'll live and learn. Anyways, the next tip I have is to use a tripod if your camera person has a bit of shaky hands. My mom did a really good job. It's not really very shaky, because my tripod actually broke the day of, but I was planning to use a tripod just to help out with any shaky hands. And then the next tip I have is not to get too nervous. You'd be surprised how nerve-wracking it is when you know someone's going to judge your riding, even if you're not actually at a horse show. So just stay calm, ride your horse, have a really good warm-up. Like I said, my warm-ups weren't great on my horses, so that kind of was a bad transition for the test. So yeah, just really have a good warm-up and just have fun. It's just a really great opportunity to get some feedback on your riding, and it doesn't have to be stressful or nerve-wracking. So after your tests are filmed, you can go ahead and enter them. So you add the test that you did to your cart and you go and check out. After you've entered all your credit card info and paid for your tests, then you specify if you would like personalized feedback from the judge on your test, which I think is a really cool thing that you can do because it's really cheap, and then that gives you an opportunity just to have further learning and learn more about why you were judged the way you were. And then also you can get ribbons mailed to you, and again, it's really cheap, so that's really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you want to try this out, use my code EquineCast at checkout for 10% off. I actually had a lot of fun doing this, and it was a really great learning experience for me to learn what I need to work on in the dressage ring, and when it really comes down to the test, what our weak points are. And I actually found it was way more beneficial than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd feel like the same as every other ride of ours, but it for some reason felt different and really showed me my holes in my training. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you want a notification every time I upload, click the little bell icon and then you'll get a notification when I upload. Bye guys!